tu tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om tare tu re. Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha.
Hello, and a very warm welcome to everyone. I'm Dr. Jean Carroll, and it is my great pleasure to host this special edition of Lama Live, in which Lama Tsultrim Allione will be giving an introduction to the Chöd practice and offering the Lung, an oral transmission of the teaching, as the perfect preparation for our online Chöd course. She will also share the sacred invocation of Machig Labdrön. At Tara Mandala, we are committed to being a welcoming, open, and safe community for practitioners and students of all cultures, races, religion, genders, sexuality, age, ability, and circumstance. And now I'll hand over to Lama La.
Good morning, everyone. Great to be with you. Beautiful morning here in Encinitas, California. That's a little north of San Diego, and that's where I'm living a lot of the time now. And it's really fun to see where all of you are from. I'm seeing it coming in from all over the world, even Finland. I saw from Poland and many places. Berlin, Switzerland. So before we begin, I wanted to tell you about a few things that are coming up and also ask for some prayers from you for someone in our Sangha. So first thing I wanted to tell you that's coming up right away is I'll be teaching the Dzinpa Rangdrol, which means the inherent liberation of fixation or attachment. Ngondro, preliminary practices, Dzinpa Rangdrol Ngondro, January 16th to 19th. And I think many of you may have been there yesterday when I talked pretty extensively about this and told some stories about how it came to Tara Mandala, the history of the cycle itself. And it's a complete cycle, and we will be doing what is equivalent to a 3-year retreat over 8 years of daily practice. So at the end of the 8 years, you will have done the equivalent of a 3-year retreat. So that is exciting, and we haven't had a new cohort of this since 2016. And so it's one of those things where you have to get on the boat because the cohort leaves, and if you're not on it, you can't get on it later. We may do this again in the future, but we're not sure when. So that's just something to be aware of. The second really exciting thing, which we talked about last week on Lama Live, is the Heart of Wisdom, the Heart of Buddhism course that we're doing. It's a year-long course, and it's called the Heart of Buddhism, which is the Heart of Wisdom. And it's 5 5-week courses where we meet once a week, and then there'll also be practice sessions and discussion groups. And that will also be a cohort that's doing that whole course. And during it, I'll be offering refuge and bodhisattva vows for those who have done the courses before that are required. So after the first two, I'll give refuge. And after the third one, Bodhisattva vows. And so we have Sutrayana for 2, we have Mahayana 1, Vajrayana 1 course, and then the 5th one is Dzogchen and Mahamudra. And we have as a guest teacher on that one, Eric Pemakunzang, who many of you know. He's an amazing translator and teacher. And we have Miranda Shaw for Vajrayana, the author of Passionate Enlightenment. We have Robert Thurman in Mahayana, and we have Wendy Garling in the Sutrayana, as well as Amelia Hall, and also all kinds of wonderful teachers. Anyway, so I'm actually really excited about this course. I think it's going to be incredible. And we've never done anything like this before, a year-long course that covers the whole history of Buddhism. So that's something. And then there'll be a day-long Chöd practice with Lopan Karla. And that will be on the 26th of January. So this practice that I'm going to start talking about today, there'll be a day-long practice of that, where she'll go over how to use the instruments and do the practice and so on. So that's actually a live transmission. Then what I'm going to do today is also an online self-guided course that you will be, after today, authorized to take, because I'm giving the lung for this practice. The lung means the healing transmission, not the healing, the oral transmission. I'm thinking about the next thing I'm going to talk about, which is that we have a member of our Sangha who has stopped eating and drinking. She is dying, and she's not going to eat or drink anymore after today. She has a disease which is not healable, but I want to send her healing energy in the sense of support. And her name is Mary Kay. She's in Washington, D.C. She's surrounded by Sangha members. She has a wonderful Sangha there. They're very, very close. And what I told them to do is to read the Chuingzo, the basic space of phenomena from Longchenpa, out loud to her, and to read the entire book every day. This is the best thing to do for someone who's passing away. It's published by Tibetan Treasures. And so anyway, let's just take a moment before we begin and send our love and support to Mary Kay in Washington, D.C. Support for a beautiful transition out of a body that's no longer functioning well and directly into the Dharmakaya. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, they're going to let me know as soon as she passes, and I'll be doing POA for her also. So this means taking refuge, right? Taking refuge in the Sangha. So precious and important. And she's very fortunate to have all these people very close to her. I've only gone there once, but their Sangha has been meeting for many years. And yeah, very supportive community. Okay, so now let's generate bodhicitta and the intention to be together for the benefit of all beings.
Hello. We've just lost Lama Live access for... Oh, hello. Lama's connection has just dropped out. We'll be back with you really shortly.
Hi, everyone. I'm back. I'm not sure what happened, but oops. Sorry about that. I'm on my phone now. Something's going on with my computer, apparently. Let me just see if comments. Okay, we see. Okay, thanks. All right.
here we go. I'm assuming it's all okay. I think it is. Let me just be sure my volume's all the way up. Yeah. Okay. As I was saying, we were generating bodhicitta and it froze. So I think that your prayers for Mary Kay were so strong that we just froze in that mode of raising bodhicitta and special prayers for her. So that's a beautiful thing. Okay, so what I was saying is that what I'm going to do today is to give the long for this Chöd practice and also to teach the invocation of Machig Labdrön. And so first I want to tell you a little bit about this particular Chöd practice because it's quite special and it's the main one that we have taught and done over the years, although we have done other Chöd practices as well. So this practice comes, as I said, from Chögyal Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche. He's called Chögyal because he's actually a reincarnation, or he was a reincarnation, of the Dharma king. Chö is Dharma and Gyal is king of Bhutan. I don't know how many people actually know that, but he was recognized as that by the Karmapa, 16th Karmapa. And it was actually kind of a problem for him in his youth because of there were, political issues, especially in Bhutan around him and that. Ultimately, there weren't those problems. He went there toward the end of his life again, but he had gone there as a youth, and he actually had to escape. They found out he was there, and the kind of opposing factions and were chasing him, and probably he would have been killed if he'd been caught. And he went in disguised as a Chöd practitioner, and then somehow word got out. But in any case, so Chögyal is that, Namkhai is sky, and Norbu is jewel, and Rinpoche is the precious one. So that's his name. He passed away in 2018 in Italy, where he resided for most of his adult life, although he traveled all the time. He was really like a nomad. And he had centers all over the world, like so many land-based centers, still does. And so he had a very long, rich teaching career. And he was an amazing scholar, really amazing scholar, particularly of Dzogchen. And he was a dreamer in the sense that it was like he said to me once, my siddhi, siddhi's power. He said, I don't have any other cities, but dreaming is my city. And he had the most extraordinary dreams. He would dream whole practices, which is this one. He dreamt this practice. He dreamt dances that were so precise that were done on top of a mandala that he would start to teach the dance that he dreamt. Then he'd go back to sleep the next night. And then the Dakini who was teaching him would come back and say, no, 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 the left foot goes into the yellow, not the blue on the mandala, just so precise. And that's just a few of them. I think they're putting together now a book of his dreams. But in any case, this Chöd practice comes from one of his dreams. And I met Rinpoche in 1978 in Italy. And the way I met him was I had met an Italian filmmaker in Boulder. I was teaching at Naropa, and I was the meditation instructor of Allen Ginsberg. And a film crew, came from Italy to Colorado, to Naropa, to film Allen and all the other poets that were there at the time. And there was extraordinary collection of beat poets, including Gregory Corso, Anne Waldman was there. There were just all kinds of people at Naropa at that time. And anyway, so I met Costanzo there, and then we fell in love, and I went to Italy and to visit him. At that time, I was divorced. I had two small children. I think like young, so it was like 3 to 5 years old. They were Sherb and Loki. So anyway, I was when I met Costanzo, I knew one Italian, and his name was Mario. And I didn't even actually remember his full last name, but I uh, I knew it was something like Mangali or Mangali or something like that. Anyway, so I met them and I said to the whole crew, "Do you know Mario?" Just kind of like, when you're in Italy, sometimes people will say like, "Oh, you're from the United States? Do you know my cousin Giorgio in Chicago?" Like, "Oh, if you're from there, you must know my cousin." You know. Anyway, so it turned out that one of them did know Mario, and because Mario was also involved in the film world, and so his name was actually Mangaletti. And so when I went to see Costanzo, I tried to locate Mario, and I was actually able to do it through Alberto. Uh, he was on the crew. He was the cameraman on the crew, the Italian crew. And so we met in this villa outside of Rome in a place called Velletri. And it was, we went in the afternoon and we were kind of sitting around, and Mario said, "Oh, there's an amazing Lama here." And he started telling me about Namkhai Norbu. And then in walks this Tibetan, and he wasn't particularly old at that time. He was probably in his 40s at that point, early 40s. Yeah, because he was 10 years older than me. And I was 32 around that age at that time. Anyway, so Rinpoche walks in and he's wearing a Bhutanese chuba, a go, what the men wear, and he was holding a cat. And he was talking to the cat in Italian and saying, "Oh, bellissima, quanto sei bella, carissima." And I was just like, this is so weird. This is a Tibetan Lama wearing a Bhutanese chuba talking Italian to a cat. And then he sat down and we did a little practice together, what he called the tun. And tun just means meditation session. Anyway, I didn't have any particular impression of him at that time, except this sort of thing of a Tibetan Lama speaking Italian. But later I moved to Italy and married Costanzo and then moved to Italy. And I began to study with him and very quickly realized he was an extraordinary teacher. And I didn't understand Italian. He was speaking Italian with no translator at that time. And so I would just go into meditation and receive what he was saying on a nonverbal level. And it was incredible what I would experience, just his voice and receiving the blessings of his teachings. And then gradually I learned Italian and could understand. And luckily he didn't know Italian that well either. So his Italian was pretty basic. And so that worked with my Italian and his. So anyway, I ended up studying with him for many, many years. And one of the first retreats we went to was in Austria. And that would have been, I think, the winter of maybe 1980, something like that. And at a certain point, he said, we're going to do the Chöd. And so he got out his bell and his drum, and I had mine because I'd learned Chöd already in India. And then we attempted to do it with him. And it was so bad. Like not him, but our way that we really didn't know how to use the bell and the drum, although I probably knew better than most of them. I wasn't that good either. And we were lost and it was all over the place. And then at the end, he actually just started laughing. He was like, okay, well, I guess we're going to have to work on that. So anyway, I started to learn this Chöd practice and it became very important for me. And at a certain point, he told the story. And so I want to tell you the story of the dream of this practice. So in the dream, he's in a meadow. He's facing south, and there's a large group of Westerners in front of him. And they all have Chöd drums and bells. And he thinks to himself, that's so strange. How do Westerners have Chöd drums and bells? Westerners don't know Chöd. And then a woman who's kind of dressed like a gypsy, but she's a Westerner, comes out of the crowd. She's neither young nor old, and she's wearing this sort of long, multicolored dress. And she hands him a Chöd drum, or what should be a Chöd drum, but it's actually more like a Siberian shaman drum, where it's just one skin, and then it hits on both sides, rather than like this. This is a Chöd drum, and it hits on both sides when you. And he thought at that moment, oh, that's strange. That's not a Chöd drum. But she gave it to him to use, and so he thought, okay, I'll use it. And then he remembered his drum, and he was feeling a little sad, like, oh, I don't have my drum. And then just right before he died, I asked him about that drum. Like, what was the history of that drum that you had? And he left it in Sikkim when he migrated to Italy, and he'd been invited to Italy. And by Giuseppe Tucci, he'd been sent by the Dalai Lama because Dalai Lama had asked for a Tibetan scholar to come to Italy. So anyway, what he said was, and this is really interesting because of what eventually has happened at Mandala, is he said it was Do Kensei's drum. Do Kensei was the terton of the Dzinpa Rangdrol, the cycle that we hold at Mandala. And Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche had his drum. So that was really interesting to me that he'd been given that by his uncle. Anyway, so he thought about the drum. This is in the dream, and then agreed to use this other drum that he'd been given. And then everyone picked up their drums and bells, this sort of field of Westerners, and they began to sing. And they sang this Chöd practice that I'm going to give you the transmission for. And it's not very long, and it contains 3 main lineages of Chöd that all kind of came together as this one. So the main one is from the Ngondro Kejang, which means the strong laughter of the Dakinis Chöd. And that's from Jigme Lingpa Terma in Longchen Ningtik. And then there's a piece from the actual lineage of Machig Labdrön, from her oral lineage. And then there is some pieces of sutra teachings. And I asked him, what sutra is it from? And he said, sutra. And I said, I know, Rinpoche, but which sutra? And then he kind of looked a little wrathful and he said, sutra. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to ask anymore. So I don't really know which sutra it came from. But anyway, I began to learn it. It became very important for me as a practice. And then at a certain point, he authorized me to teach it. And so I began to teach the Chöd probably 1984, this particular practice. And that's what I always taught when I taught Chöd. And I taught a lot of Chöd until I started to learn other practices of Chöd. But that wasn't until the 2000s. So this is a direct transmission from a dream from Chögyal Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche. And now I'll give you the lung for it, and that's the hearing transmission. Lung is actually the word for prana. It's also the word for wind. And when you receive a lung for something, it means that the person actually says it. And so it's a way to have a direct contact with the practice. And so the three main ways transmission occurs is the wang, or the empowerment, the lung, the oral transmission, and the tree, which is the explanation. In some practices, you only receive the lung and the tree, which is this one. There isn't a wang that goes with it. And sometimes there are all three of them. But you always have to have at least the lung and the tree, because otherwise you don't have transmission. And so we do have this online self-guided course. And once you have this lung, you're authorized to take it and you're authorized to do it, to do the Chöd practice. And so you could conceivably, once this is over, you could go and get that course, do it, and then do the 26th with Carla, which will be a live practice as well. And so then you would really be on your way to learning the Chöd practice. Okay, so take a moment now before I begin and imagine that you are offering a mandala to me, because that's usually what's done before a lung. And mandala means that you're offering the whole universe. And I will receive it. Okay, thank you. So now all you have to do is listen. You can close your eyes and listen. You can have your eyes open, whatever you want to do. And I'll be reading the practice. So this is the Chöd of Chögyal Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche received in a dream. Pe, jigme du shuk chope nal jorne, korde nampar drawe, gongcho ki, daksin ladre tendu droshik dung, nitsin korwe namtok duldulok, sagyu rigzin lama drolajun, yidam pawo jamso drolajun, kandro ne nolma tsok drolajun, doshuk lamdu longbar jinji lap. Pet, ranang ursel dewa chempoin, beso drope drawe namkala, tsawe lama drupa dorje chang, gongda nyengyu lama yedam la, kandro chuchung soma dindar tip, majak jatsun tigle longdu sal, pet, rangjung ki rigpa chume di, kyapyo ki ngowo marik pe, Dugnya ki japsor yingwanam kusum ki gangwe kyaptu so. Pe nangwala nowa zimpe sem drushuk chope tsarchene yangdaki ne luk tokche chir redok dandrawa semkedo. Pe cheshin ki pumbo gyumelu mandal ki tsombo rapkyone sokshin ki lala to mebul daksin ki tsawa chupasho. Pet o Machig Mala Soadeb, Machig Mala Soadeb, Hong Machig Mala Soadeb, Karpo Om Chi Jinji Lap, Marpo A Chi Jinji Lap, Wumpo Hun Chi Jinji Lap, Kusum Tuki Chinchempo, Ma Yumchen Gopon Topar Sho. Pet Lu Jeshin Porwe La Dujum, Sem Sangwe Gone Yingla Ton Pet. Shida ki dujam tromajur, ye nyumon dujam trigugi, zuk pombe dujam topadre, yon leje soki benda tok, kusum ki migoy kebor shak, nang tong sung gangwe bamrode, a tong dang ham ki dutser shu, drusum ki nupe jangpel jur, oma hum. Pet yarcho yu drunki tukdam kyang, sok sone chokton nudrup top, Ma korwe drone lenchak jang, ke bardu noche gerik tsim, ne dung dam parche ying shi, ke nyan dan daksen do lok, tar choche choche choyo kun, shi zo pachempo macho chunam zuk tabute, saoshing dakla ngupa me, zundu meching shodu me, gyudang lele kundu jung. Ngo ni ne me pa deda chunam shepar chi. Gedang mi ge tokso rangdrol la redang dope tsenma mimi kyang nangchi tendra lume ge tsok kun lakme chuki yingsu ngo la ja. Pet kunzo luki chimpa latene kalpa zakpe bulon lenchak jang. Dundam chuki jimbe gyudro tse dak ki duwa tangbo kewa sho. Detse macho ramchak dume dun mison ladre gyula kene kyang. Narzen trope jesu midring war. Jamdang ninje shegyu nembar sho. Dakyang doshuk chopar tarshene. Kedu ronyam korde chukur jong. Chole namgyal drodse dundan ki twinle tarshum jalu drupar sho. Om Dari Dari Ben Dari Swaha Jaya Jaya Siddhi Pala Pala Hasha Sama Mama Kolin Samanta. That's it. And so now you have the lung for this practice, and that authorizes you to do the practice, essentially. And yeah, I've taught this since the early 80s. I first received it from Rinpoche in 1979 and then began to do it more extensively and have been teaching it ever since then. And so I'm really happy to transmit it. I feel it's a very precious Chöd practice because it's not very long. Most Chöd practices are longer, and it has all the essential elements of a Chöd practice. And it is something that you can do. It only takes 20 minutes to do it. So I really encourage you, if you're interested in learning a Chöd practice, to learn this one. It's wonderful. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to do while we are here together is to teach you the invocation of Machig Labdrön, which is in it. It's in the practice. It was part of what I just gave you. And the history of it is that her son, her second son, Tonyam Samdrup, whose name means Tuf or Topabhadra, his father means skull. Tunyam means crazy because he went crazy for a while in his life. Sam is meditation, and Drup is to accomplish. So that's the name that Machi gave him. And he said to her, "What can we do when you're no longer with us to connect with you?" And she said, "You can do this." And she gave him this practice. And so I'm going to explain it. And then we're going to do it together. So the first line is Om Machig Mala Sowade. And so there's the pet first. Pet is a syllable that's repeated several times during the practice, and it's the syllable for cutting through. And it unites the masculine skillful means and the feminine wisdom in the two syllables. So it begins with that. And then Om, when you say Om, you visualize a white Om on the forehead of Machig Labdrön, who is in front of you. And so the way she looks is she's white, like the snow mountains. She's standing. She has her right leg raised, sort of pulled up into the air, and then her left leg is extended and she's standing on it. That's called the dancing posture. And then she has in her raised right hand the drum, the Chöd drum, and in her left hand at her hip she holds a bell. And she has the crown of the five families on her head. She's surrounded by rainbow garments, sort of like scarves of rainbows that are surrounding her body. And she has three eyes. She always described with three eyes. Even from the time of her birth, they said she had three eyes. And don't know exactly what that meant, but she probably had a big mark on her forehead. In other words, she had the wisdom eye, and the wisdom eye is the eye that sees beyond two. So she has three eyes, and there's a vertical eye in her forehead. And she has the Khatvanga staff, the staff that symbolizes the inner consort, in the crook of her left arm. And then now, in this line, you place the white Om in her third eye. You can either see it in Western letters, in English letters, or in Tibetan, if you know Tibetan. And in the course, you receive images of all these letters in Tibetan. So, and then Machig, Ma is her name. La Sowadeb that's I pray to you. So that's the white Om in her forehead. The second line, Ah Machig Ma La Sowadeb, the Ah is placed in her throat and it's red. So the red Ah in her throat, Machig Ma La Sowadeb. Hum Machig Ma La Sowadeb, and that's the blue Hum in her heart chakra. And then now you have her in front of you. These letters have been placed there. So you're seeing her there with the letters. And then from those letters comes light. And so the next line is Karpo Omji Jinji Lap. And Karpo is white, Om again. And then Jinji Lup means blessings or gift waves. It literally means gift waves. And so blessings are really like a substance that you receive from a teacher, and you can feel it when you receive it. It's kind of like, zzz, like something goes into your body. And so here you see a white light coming from the white Om in her third eye into your third eye. White light comes, and she transmits that. And that is the Nirmanakaya. Oh, great. I've got an image of her. Thank you. White light transmits the wisdom of the Nirmanakaya, which is the embodiment of wisdom. And then the red Ah transmits the Sambhogakaya wisdom, the wisdom from the dimension of luminosity, not in the physical realm, in the dimension of light. So that's where all the deities are. Tara, Avalokiteshvara, Vajrapani, Machig Labdrön in this case. She's in the Sambhogakaya. So it's red light coming from her throat and transmitting the energy of Sambhogakaya into your throat. And then Ngumpo Hum. Ngumpo means blue. And so the blue hung is in her heart, and that transmits the Dharmakaya into her, from her into you. And Dharmakaya is the formless dimension, the ground of being, that from which all arises. So that goes into your heart, and the heart is the mind. So this is body, speech, and mind. Mind in the heart. You might love, no, mind is here, it's in the head. No, not. Because this is our wisdom mind. This is where the wisdom mind is. So that's what you see, white, red, and blue light coming into your three places. And then Ku Sun Tu Ki Jin Chenpo. Ku is body, Sung is speech, and Tuk is mind. Ki Jin Chenpo. May I receive the great blessing of the body, speech, and mind. So when you do that line, all three lights are coming simultaneously. Okay? And then Ma Yum Chen Gopon Topar Sho. Ma is mother. Yum Chen is the word for Prajnaparamita. It's usually Yun Chen Mo, great mother. Gopang means the level of. Topar Sho is to attain. And Sho may it be so. So may I attain the Gopang, or the realization level of the Great Mother, Prajnaparamita. And Machig Labdrön is very connected to Prajnaparamita. All of her teachings are linked to Prajnaparamita. And any of you who are in Magyu, you know that we learn this right from the beginning. In the Kapala 1, we learn a practice of Prajnaparamita because of that connection. And so that's the invocation that we are going to learn. And now, having done the explanation of it, we will do it together 3 times. And I thought that I would do it with my drum and not use my bell because I think the bell would be too loud, but normally you would. And just showing the instruments, this is the bell, this is the drum. And then the other sort of tool or instrument used in Chöd is the kangling. This is the thigh bone trumpet. It's made from a human thigh bone and femur, and you play it like that. And so I'll just use my drum, and we'll sing this together and sing away in your home. Don't hold back. We're going to put the words up so you can follow them. And but the main thing is this visualization of the three lights that will be coming. And by the way, this is Lama Wangdu's Chöd drum that was given to me by his granddaughter, Dechen Somo, after he passed. And so she said this was his traveling drum. When he traveled, this is the one that he took. He, of course, didn't have just one Chöd drum since he did so much Chöd. And it's an amazing, beautiful drum. So you'll be blessed with the sound of Lama Wangdu's drum as well. Okay, so let's take a moment before we begin to see her in front of us. See her in the sky in front of us with her three eyes. She's luminous white. She's holding the drum in her raised right hand and the bell in her lower left hand. She has the right leg raised and the left leg extended in the dancing posture. And she's standing on a sun and moon on a lotus flower. And she has the three eyes. So that will be our visualization throughout. We'll do this 3 times, and at the end of each time, we'll shout the pet. And in that moment of shouting pet, she unifies with you. She comes into you. She blesses you. And then with the first 3 lines, you're setting up these letters in her. And then the next 3 lines, you're receiving transmission. And then the next line after those 3 lines, the next to last line, you're receiving all 3 at once. And then the last line is the request for to reach her level of realization. Then we sound pet, and then she unifies, and then we begin again, and she goes out in front. Okay, so let's get, I'm a little tight in here with this chair I'm sitting in. Let me just fix my phone a little bit so you can maybe see more. Om Machi Mala So De Karpo On Ti Ji Marpo Aji Chin Long Po Chi Chin Who's on the Chen Po My own Chen Go And imagine that Machig Labdrön dissolves into you. Feel her blessings in your body, speech, and mind. And then you, with the integrated energy of Machig Labdrön, dissolve and rest in whatever's present after the dissolution. Okay. I'll do the dedication at the end, the authentication. Om Dare Dare Ben Dare Swaha Jaya Jaya Siddhi Siddhi Pala Pala Ahasha Sama Mama Golem Same and thank you. So now you have the transmission for the Chögyal Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche practice. By the way, I asked him, what is the name of your Chöd practice? Because Chöds have names. You know, there's the Parchangma Chöd, there's the Rangdrol Chöd, there's, you know, all these different kinds of Chöd. And Khandro Kejang and so on. So this also happened quite soon before he died, quite close to that time, a few years before. I was Rinpoche, what's the name of your Chöd practice? And we were in Tenerife, where he established the International Dzogchen Community Center in Tenerife. And he looked at me and he said, Chöd. And I said, I know it's Chöd, but what's the title of it? Does it have a title? He looked at me and again, and he said, Chöd. So then I said one more time, Rinpoche, I know, but, you know, does it have a title? And he was like, Chöd. He kind of yelled at me. I was like, okay, Chöd. That's it. So anyway, I guess there wasn't a title in the dream. And so I'm just looking, I look at your, yeah, I'm looking at the comments now. I didn't have them up on my phone. So yeah, somebody here, Melissa, says she's doing that 100 handpan chuds from Lama Wangdu. Yes, yes, that's amazing. So anyway, so this is the Chöd from Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche, and now you have it, and you can do it. And I really encourage you to do that day long with Carla. That will be amazing. Lopen Carla, Jackson Brewer. She has been doing Chöd with me since 1988. She's one of my oldest students, her and Lopen Ellen Booth Church. They go way back. And Lopen Carla was with me in Tibet several times. She was with me in Bhutan. She's just been very close for a very long time. And she's been assisting me with Chöd for many years, and then recently has started to teach it herself. And she also can give the transmission of it, as can Lopen Chandra and Lopen Charlotta. So we asked Namkhai Norbu, can they give it when he came to Mandala? And he looked at me and he looked at them and he said, of course. Otherwise, how is it going to go on in the future? so, so that's wonderful. And I really hope that this benefits all beings. Our little time together this morning, I loved doing it. I hope you received something from it that was significant and important for you, even just a transmission, because now you have a link for all your future lives with this practice. And I hope you pursue it and actually learn it. And don't be intimidated, like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do that drum and the bell and the whole thing. So many people have learned this, and you just have to commit to doing it every day for a month after you receive it, and you'll have it. So, yeah, let's take a moment and dedicate the merit of our time together. And dedicating merit means that you gather up any positive energy that you have felt, that you've created from whatever you're dedicating the merit from, and that would be this time together. And you offer it out to benefit all beings. Because they say if you don't offer it out and then you do something that kind of blows it right afterwards, like you go and get mad at somebody, then you lose all the merit. But if you've already given it away to all beings, it's out there going no matter what you do right afterwards. So let's dedicate this merit, any positive energy that we've accumulated together, may it benefit all beings everywhere. And let's dedicate this also to Mary Kay. And let's send some healing energy to Wendy Garling too, because she isn't here today. She was supposed to be because she has COVID. She hasn't had it before, and she's okay, but it's always intense to have COVID. So let's send some healing to Wendy. She's in Concord, Massachusetts, that famous town from the Revolutionary War, and also where Jane Austen lived, and it's the same area as William Thoreau and all those early settlers, really invaders from England. And that's my ancestors come from there. Anyway, let's send it to Wendy. Healing energy for Wendy's big blast of it. And we will reschedule it with Wendy soon, and let you know when that is. And then she'll be our guest teacher in that first session or the first course in the Heart of Buddhism course. Wendy has written some amazing books on the early women in Buddhism. Stars at Dawn is one. And then the other one, the woman who raised the Buddha, on Mahaprajapati, who was his stepmother. Really amazing books. I know Amelia, who's a scholar, has read them and said they're really good. So, yeah, love to Wendy. And we'll be with her soon. And we will be doing more Lama Lives now. I'm settled, not traveling so much. And so we have a new team with Jean, Dr. Jean from England, as our host, and Pao Dorje as our tech support, and our beloved Dreame will be on Mighty Networks, which is our amazing Dharma digital hub, which you can get on. We should post a link to that. It's pretty amazing. I just did the New Year's Day ritual on that. We have practices every day that you can participate in that are led by somebody live on there. We have community areas. We have a poetry corner for people to post their poems. People connect with each other. It's really great. It's really great. And I think there's over 3,000 people on it. So lots of people to connect with. So it's called Yana. And yeah, so I'm seeing your thank yous. Thank you to you all for being with us today, and we will see you soon. Yeah, very soon. And I'm really hoping to see a lot of you in the Ngondro retreat. So we talked about that, and I think that is up. I did a Q&A of it yesterday, and that's on the network and on Mighty Networks. So if you go to Mighty Networks and you go look up Yana, that will come up, Yana. And yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you for your thank yous. And yeah, I'm just looking at your messages. Thank you. Ah, Sarah, first connection. Wow, really nice. Oh, from Colombia. Lucera, I just watched a Netflix film on the lost children in Colombia. If any of you haven't seen that, look at it. It's on Netflix, about those four children who were in the plane crash and then survived for 40 days in the jungle. Pretty amazing. It's very interesting. The work of the indigenous people of Colombia in finding these kids, and also that the army and the indigenous came together, which they've been enemies for years, and they ended up coming together for that. And oh, Ursula, you were in her cave in Tibet with Dr. Nita. That's cool. But it's so great, when there's new people connecting, and You never know, what's going to draw people. So, yeah, the names of Wendy's books, can you put those in there? People are asking for that. Let's see if we've got it in here. I'm scrolling. Yeah, The Stars at Dawn and The Woman Who Raised the Buddha. So they'll get those in there. So maybe they did already and I didn't see it. Anyway, okay. Well, thanks everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. It's 10:10 here. It's interesting looking at that 10:10. I'm headed for the farmers market, which is a wonderful thing that happens every Sunday here. And this area of California, they grow all year. I have a garden now growing the colder weather greens like kale and arugula and things like that. But we're very fortunate. Lemons, oranges, and so on. So I'll imagine that I'm offering all that to all beings as I see it. And probably Mary Kay will be not in her body by next Sunday. And so keep your eyes open. We'll have prayers up for her on the Mighty Networks when she passes. And, if your body's not working, it's fine to leave it. It's good. Let it go. It's impermanent anyway. So, yeah, lots of love to you all. And thank you and have a wonderful week. Many blessings to you.
Thank you, Lama Tsultrim, for this very special transmission. I feel very lucky to have been here to receive it live, and I know I'm not alone in that. So on behalf of everyone here, thank you, Lama La. And thank you at home for your participation and support. If you'd like to go deeper, this transmission creates the perfect foundation for our online Chöd course. Details are in the chat now. And you might like to join our community practice intensive on January 25th. Links for that are in the chat now. And as Lama Tsultrim mentioned earlier, the Heart of Buddhism starts soon. This is your chance to join our global community in exploring these profound teachings with Lama Tsultrim and a group of extraordinary Buddhist scholars. Whether you join for the full year or for individual courses, details can be found on the Heart of Buddhism webpage at the Tara Mandala website. Don't miss this chance to deepen your understanding of the Buddhist path. And I want to tell you about an extraordinary opportunity at Tara Mandala. For the first time since 2016, the Gateway program is opening its doors to its new students. This 8-year journey through the complete Dzinpa Rangdrol cycle uniquely combines Machig Labdrön's wisdom with pure Dzogchen practice, designed for dedicated practitioners who want to maintain deep practice while living in the world. The journey begins with the Dzinpa Rangdrol Ngondro transmission starting January 16th, and applications for the full Gateway program are being accepted through February 28th, 2025. This is a rare opportunity and we hope you can join us. You can find all the details and application information on the Gateway program page at Tara Mandala's website. And you can follow Tara Mandala on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to keep up to date with our news. Those links are in the chat now. And join us at the same time next week, that's January 12th, for a special conversation between Lama Tsultrim and Wendy Garling, both teachers on the Heart of Buddhism program. We're all really looking forward to that, and we hope you can join us. And please consider joining Jnana, where you can connect more deeply with the Sangha without the interruption of ads. Following the tradition going all the way back to the time of the Buddha 2600 years ago, you have the opportunity now to make an offering of dana to Lama Tsultrim Allione. Dana is a Pali and Sanskrit word that means generosity. Offering dana creates an auspicious connection and is a beautiful expression of the interdependence between teacher and student. Dana directly recognizes the precious gift of the teacher and the teachings, without which one could not practice the Dharma. To offer dana, please follow the link you can see in the chat now. And now all that remains is for me to wish you farewell, and I hope to see you at the same time next week for Lama Live with author and teacher Wendy Garling. Goodbye.
Tare tu re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha Om Tare tu re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha Om Tare tu re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha Om Tare tu